What's up, tribe? My solopreneurs, thank you for joining me again for another live webinar. Happy Saturday. This is being streamed right now through StreamYard and onto YouTube. So wherever you're joining me, I just want to say a quick thank you so much for joining me today. Okay, this is really important. We're continuing to have our conversation around dream frameworks, building a framework, a solid foundation for our business. Today, we're going to be talking about 3 strategies you and your business absolutely need to implement around our dream offers for our dream clientele. But before we get into that, solopreneurs, at some point, I can imagine that you're going to begin hosting your own webinars. And if you're looking for a platform to do so, StreamYard has been super efficient and user-friendly so far. For me, I absolutely love streaming on StreamYard. And if you're interested in joining StreamYard as well to host your own live events, there is going to be a link down in the description below on YouTube so that you can click into my referral and affiliate link and receive a $10 discount. I believe is still what the discount is, right? Is it? Yep, $10. All right, which is extremely helpful. I'm not going to hold you, right? Because we're talking about operating our business and we want to be as cost effective as possible. So feel free to tap into that link and begin to stream and host your own webinars. Now, on to business. Last week, we talked a lot about what we need to make sure that we have in order to thrive in 2025 and beyond for our business. There's some things that's just absolutely not going to do anymore. Again, we're in the digital age, my friends. So we absolutely need to be forward thinking about how our business is not just going to thrive, but to survive in 2025 and beyond. So we had a lot of digital conversation in focus, hence, because we're in a digital age. And today we're going to switch it up just a bit and talk about 3 strategies that you and your business absolutely need to implement straight away with regards to having your offers, right? So this is the dream offers framework. We're building a framework around offers. An offer is a product or service that you sell to your potential clients, your customers, your leads. Yeah. So let's say best case scenario, you have an offer, a product, a service to sell. I mean, hopefully you have many, right? As I always say, if you have one, you have 4. Okay. So let's say that you have your offers ready to go. What's next? Okay, as a part of our original conversation around Dream Offers Framework was making sure that we are setting up a system in between 4 things. Okay, so a frame, an actual frame looks just like my tiny whiteboard here. I apologize for the glare. This is crazy. Hoping to get a large and new whiteboard coming soon. Anyway, do your best, forget the rest. This says 3 strategies you need, right? And so I want you to think about a frame just like this whiteboard here. It has 4 corners. Over here in this first corner, that's our offers, right? So we talk a lot about crafting a compelling offer and selling your dream offers to your dream clients. After you have your dream offer, what comes next? Over here in this corner, we're going to talk about that now. So first corner of your framework and also the first strategy is that now that you have your offer, what do you need to do? You need to have leads to sell your offer to, right? So let's see how this looks because I'm not even entirely sure, to be honest. I got a whole bunch of colorful markers that I love, but it's more important that you can read and see and that it's legible. No, that's terrible. All right, so we're just gonna go with black. Awesome. The first strategy you need is a lead strategy. Why? Because leads are who you sell your dream offers to. Okay? So you want to have leads and you need a lead strategy. So the very first persons that you sell your offer to, it's really important that you don't just sell that customer one time, but that you're able to service or sell them your products over and over again. We want to actually acquire and build clientele, right? So they continue to come back to our business. So first and foremost, as a part of your lead strategy, is we'll call this A, organic outreach. So you want to have an organic strategy, organic outreach, right? So I want you to think about all of the people that's inside of your network, not just your professional and your business network, but your general network, your family, your friends, especially those who are on your social media platforms. You're both your followers and non-followers. Those are your leads. And you want to start to begin to have DM conversations. DM, I'm going to write combos here. DM conversations as a part of your organic outreach on your social media platforms. Now, many solopreneurs shy away from this process. I'm not even going to lie, because we're solopreneurs, we can't do it all. We definitely need to choose one strategy to start with. This isn't even my strongest strategy, because we need to make sure, if you're going to take on this type of strategy, that you are consistent. So this is not a one and done thing. I'm not talking about reaching out to your followers and saying, hey, I have this amazing offer. Are you interested? And trying to persuade them to buy it. I'm specifically talking about reaching clientele that you do not have yet, leads you do not know, people you do not know, non-followers. Yes, I encourage you to slide into strangers' DMs about your offer with a link for them to take you up on that offer. Now, maybe it's not the offer directly, maybe something happens beforehand that leads them to the offer, but nonetheless, you want to be able to start to become comfortable in talking to strangers, talking to people you don't know, not just face to face, but also virtually. Why? Because we're in a digital age, and we want to take advantage of the fact that it's an open source platform, meaning it's free. So the cost to acquire a customer, aka CAC, that starts to build over time, where when we build momentum in our business, this is something that we want to pay for. But in the beginning stages, a lot of you are aspiring entrepreneurs. Some of you are in your early growth stage. That's amazing, right? So in order to continue to obtain leads, you need organic outreach, and sliding into people's DMs is one of the best ways to do it. Now, from my previous experience, a lot of my peers and colleagues literally would send DMs to no less than 50 people a day, non-followers or people that they don't know, up to 100, if not more. So yes, that is a large ask, especially on a daily basis, but it's not impossible. There's plenty of solopreneurs doing this. It's just about what you can be consistent with. And if this is one of the things, this is my first and high recommendation, because there's a lot of people on social media. And so that thing that they were worried about, or the problem that they've had, they may not be thinking about it in this moment. They may not have intentionally logged on to Instagram looking for a solution. Maybe they did, but let's say that they didn't. But one thing's for sure is that if you're able to identify those persons who may be interested in your offer, somehow they're showcasing that you can slide into their DM with your offer, and they're going to be like, "Oh man, I just was thinking about this problem and I need a solution. And now this person is hitting me up talking about them having a solution to this problem that I was thinking about not that long ago." So even if that wasn't the intention that they came onto the platform with, because you're in their direct messages, they're going to be able to now shift their direction from whatever the original attention was on being on social media, which more than likely it was to scroll, right? And now you shift their energy and attention to your offer. And now they can take advantage of it right away because they just found a solution to a problem that they have. So, a part of organic outreach is definitely going to be making sure that you are leveraging your social media platforms in order to showcase your offer. A lot of things that I see from solopreneurs is that we'll spend a lot of time creating content about our offer and advertising it through posting it either through an original post, a reel, or a story, which is important. However, directly speaking with someone, right? So not just the views that happens on your post, but an actual conversation that can begin to happen starts in either your comment box and then you take it to your direct messages or straight in your direct messages. Sometimes if you make a post as a solopreneur, you'll even get some advertising yourself. Like a marketing team will reach out and say, "Wow, this post is fire. I'm sending you a message now." And you'll see the person that just commented a second ago, they'll actually send you a DM with an offer. "Hey, do you need more followers? We can help you do that. Hey, I see that you're a fitness instructor. We think these clothes will look great on you." Please tell me that there's another solopreneur that has experienced this. I just experienced this yesterday, right? I did a fitness post and someone who was using this strategy or some team who was using this strategy commented 3 fire flames on my post and then immediately sent me a direct message after offering to help me gain more followers. Okay. So this is a tactic that works, by the way. So I need that to actually be the forefront of your mind is that this is a tactic that works. So I say that because I want to emphasize that it is really important that you don't walk into this thinking that this can't happen for you and that you're not going to do it, or that because you haven't taken advantage of someone like this, a marketing team sliding into your DMs, that since you didn't do it, that no one else would do it. The person who needs it because that is the solution to their problem is going to do it, right? They're going to take advantage of it. I have a problem. I see my solution right here. Let me take advantage of it right now so that I could solve it and get it out of the way. So even if you sent 50 DMs, and maybe that's aggressive to start, I need you to choose a number that works for you and that you can actually do, right? Let's say the number is 50. It could be 20, it could be 10. Doesn't matter where you start. There is a probability that 1, 2, 3, maybe even 10 people would take advantage of your offer. The probability increases the more DMs you send. And that's why a minimum of 50 to 100, like that's the range of the minimum, is required in order to actually see conversion happen here. So if you're just going to send 10 direct messages a day, your conversion rate has the probability of being 0 to 1 for a long time because it's just a small pool of people. You want to put your offer in front of a mass amount of people. And that's why non-followers are so important. Your followers too, don't get me wrong. Some of you may have thousands of followers, so that works as well. You're going to send your offer to all of your dream clientele who you believe can benefit from your payoff, from your transformation, from your offer. So that's followers and non-followers. But my point is that you want to send it to as many people as possible in order to convert them. The larger the pool of people you send it to, the larger the probability that you would actually convert someone. And if you convert a lead that you don't know, even better. Even better that you're putting your product in front of a new audience, because what happens then is referrals, word of mouth. So many things can happen from meeting a new person or gaining a new lead. All right, so we have DM combos. We want to consider doing that. Now, why did I mention the number 10? If I'm like, okay, if you're like, okay, well, you said the larger pool of people that you send this to, but then you said that I could start with 10. You might need to start with 10 because this is an uncomfortable process. Not everyone is comfortable or understands their capabilities of being able to send 50 DMs to people searching, going through timelines, going through the explore page to find people that would likely be interested in your offer. Okay, so if you are uncomfortable with this process, if there's some fear and doubt here, I just want to get you to start. And 10 is a feasible number to start with. You can send 10 DMs a day. It's possible. You can send 5 DMs a day. You can send one. I just need you to break through the barrier of not doing this process because you have doubts, because of confidence, or some other, what do they call it? I was going to say a false narrative, but false narrative is fine. Some other false narrative that you can't do this process as well. This is an effective strategy by multimillionaires, even when they are multimillionaires and generating millions into their business. Many large organizations still use this tactic as well. Yep, sliding into people's DMs. It just depends on who it is and what they're looking for. So, organic outreach with DM combos being one. Okay. So the next is going to be warm leads. Your warm leads are people that you know. There's also cold leads. That's people that you don't know. So we talked about followers and non-followers, right? Followers would be your warm leads. These are your friends, your family, the people who have been on your page, they've commented on your page before, or maybe they've even made a purchase from you before. Well, they're no longer your lead then, right? They might have maybe watched your contents, right? So let's say leads, right? Leads usually get a free to low ticket value item from you. So you want to reach out to your warm leads. So maybe you do know of someone who watches your content and they comment on that content, right? They figure that something resonates. Even if they say, hey, great content, this is a person that you can reach out to and be like, yeah, well, thank you so much for the comment about the content. What is it that you enjoyed about it, or what resonates with you? Start a conversation is what I'm saying, right? So you want to ask an open-ended question so that you can find out more about this warm lead, because then that'll help you position your offer. So there's a difference between just sending a message to be like, hey, I have this thing, buy it, than being like, what is the problem that you actually have so I can see how I can help you solve it? Because it may be your current offer, or it might be something else. You don't even know. You're not going to know until you ask questions. So find out what resonates. What did they like about the content? What hit for them? And then you can introduce something more. Maybe still it's not necessarily the offer at that point, but you want to turn your warm lead into a hot lead, because the hotter this person gets is the more likely that they're open to purchasing the offer, because it aligns, right? We talk about dream offers with our dream clientele. So we want to get our dream offers to our dream clientele. So warm leads are going to be the people that you have some interaction with, or you may know. So warm leads are also your friends and your family members. Okay. They're also your warm leads. Maybe they haven't made a purchase from you yet, but they know that you have this bomb offer, right? But they're not sure about how it can help them, the payoff for the transformation. So this is where you do that check-in with them, right? So, hey, I do have this bomb offer and I would really love some feedback. Do you mind trying it? Get your friends and family to try your products and your services. Get legitimate feedback from them as well. Get some testimonials and reviews. And then if they love it and they actually can see that how it's helping them because you allow them to try it, guess what they're going to do? Buy it. And so it's possible to be able to convert your family members and friends from warm leads into paying clientele and customers. And then I have one more for you. I'm going to go ahead and make some space on my tiny whiteboard. So I hope you're writing this down as I'm speaking it, because I don't know if you can see it. I'm not going to hold you And no, I'm not ashamed of my tiny whiteboard. This is where we at right now, y'all. Things things only get better from here. I love this whiteboard because it's great to like I I write out everything now. Like this is not just for the webinar, by the way. I write out everything and it's different from sitting down and writing in my notebook or my journal. There's something about writing on this whiteboard. Hopefully I'll get a regular size one very soon. Okay. Finally, you want to do live networking. So it is July what? 10th, 11th? It's July 12th. It's July 12th. What networking events do you have planned for yourself for this month? If you don't have one, I suggest you look for one and go to it. Wherever you are, doesn't matter. Okay, so it can be in your city or your state. Maybe you travel for it. That's all good too. Maybe it's virtual, even better. You don't even have to leave the comfort of your own home. But you need to do some networking. Live is great. So last month, I went to a business expo that was very close to me. I was very grateful to have it so close to in my neighborhood. The month before that was Small Business Month, May. I went to a business expo. Okay. There are a couple other live networking events that I have going on this month that I personally organized. So, live networking where you can go and meet people. Now, this is a great tactic, but I want you to be mindful of actually preparing for this. So, you find a live networking event. Eventbrite is a really great space to do this. I'm not a sponsor. I'm not sponsored by Eventbrite at all, but this is a platform that I've used before for live events. So go on to Eventbrite, locate a live network event, register for the live networking event. There's plenty of free ones. Attend the networking event, but before you attend that event, you need to prepare. You want to have not only making sure that you have your business card or at least a QR code linked back to wherever your offers are or discovery calls or your landing page, how people can find you and find out more information about what you're doing. Maybe that's even just gathering their email. You need to have that beforehand. You need to prepare by understanding who is going to be there so that you can be intentional about finding a particular group of people to speak with because maybe that's what you need, right? So if they have a group of mentors, if there's a particular organization there that you wanted to connect with, if they have particular vendors there and you wanted to connect with, you're gonna find them and then you're gonna prepare a few questions ahead of time so that you can actually walk into the event with the intention. The worst thing to do is to attend a live networking event after you're already like, okay, I don't know what I'm going to do at this event. And then to just go there and walk around aimlessly, or to stand there, or to hide in a corner, or to sit in a chair and have whatever snacks and hors d'oeuvres are there and never talk to no one, because that's possible. You're not doing this just to say you did it. You're doing it because you also need something for your business. You need partnership, you need a mentor, you need to meet other successful people in your field who's already doing the thing that you want to do, or they are who you want to become, and you want to speak to them. So you want to prepare with a couple of questions ahead of time as you're walking into that event. But this is important, y'all, because once you start to network and talk with people, number one, you're not only going to meet other businesses who are already doing the things that you want to do and may have an awesome lead strategy as well. That's one of the questions you can ask. So how do you get leads? That's a great open-ended question to ask at a live networking event. Okay. Aside from live networking, how do you attract more leads? That's a great question. Okay. Aside from that, though, I want to encourage you and to believe that another business is your customer as well, right? We had conversations before about B2B clients and then B2C. So B2C is business to consumer, and then is B2B business to business. You would be a business to business, right? So maybe you're doing something great and you get to find out through this conversation at this live networking event that this business needs what you got and you need something they have too. At minimum, What you need is leads. And so that business can absolutely be your lead. Live networking events, y'all. Get yourselves on Eventbrite and find a live networking event to go to this month and next month. Try to go to one once a month. That is my recommendation. All right. That's it for lead strategy. Leave down in the comment box what resonates for you, please, and thank you. And also, if you're streaming this on YouTube, be sure to subscribe. If you're digging this content, be sure to share as well with your partners and other solopreneurs and entrepreneurs and businesses like you. Next. So we talked about this corner being our offers. This is the first corner in our framework. Offers, leads. Next. Who knows? Who knows what's next? What's the next corner of our framework? Which strategy do you need? Strategy number 1 was lead. Strategy number 2. You need a content strategy, y'all. That says content. Content strategy, y'all. So let's talk about what kind of content. You are aware of this. Last week, we spoke about how important it is to have a digital presence, specifically through content. So first, we're going to start off with A, is going to be what's called your pillar content. This is content that you are doing on a weekly basis on whichever topic that's relevant to your offers or to your business or what you're attracting your dream clientele to. Okay. So, like, for example, for me, where I'm streaming this, which is on YouTube, and you're going to find a lot of conversations on this particular channel with regards to small business, solopreneurship, wealth building tactics. That's a lot of the content that you're going to find on this particular platform. That is my pillar content. Even on a weekly basis, you may find that I post a new short. You can also post long form videos. If you are not doing visual content, then you can consider also doing audible content. You could also consider blogging, right? So pillar content, you're either going to vlog, a video log, you're going to blog, which, for example, especially for my business owners, right? A really great platform to do this on is going to be LinkedIn. Why? Because there's tons of B2B there. There's B2C there too, but B2B. And I think emphasizing B2B is important because you can sell your high ticket offers to B2B. More than likely, they're able to invest in your offer. Okay. So then you're going to blog about not just about your offer, but what's going on in the world in which your offer is solving the solution, or how you educating your businesses on certain strategies, tactics, or educating them on your field. Like, what is it that you're talking about and you're offering? You're going to put that in an article, and then you're going to put that in a blog on LinkedIn, for example. So you need pillar content. Okay. This helps you to establish authority in your field. So another one of my fields, aside from small business, is also fitness. You want to establish your authority, right? So if I've established my authority in fitness through doing vlogs and blogs and more. I also do live events, right? So I actually instruct in person with group instructing with 60 people in a room, or I also do it through virtually and personal training and one-on-one, right? So you have to actually showcase what you're doing. And this is a great way to do so. Vlogging and blogging, you need pillar content. And this needs to happen weekly, as I've recommended before. If you struggle and have time constraints, if you struggle with consistency and you have time constraints, think about doing shorts, okay? Actually, before we get there, because that's the next part, that's B. So we're going to jump right into B. Make sure you have A written down because it's got to go because I have a tiny whiteboard. Content strategy A. You need pillar content. You need to decide whether you're doing a blog, a vlog, or a podcast. Okay. How are you talking about this product, your service, your industry, your field, and educating your audience? Establishing authority. B. So we mentioned YouTube Shorts, and that's considered micro content. Okay, so maybe you don't have time for long form. That's all good. You can do some micro content. Micro content could also come in a very short form of a blog as well. Like it doesn't have to be a a novel, right? You can do that in short form as well. And then you can actually do YouTube Shorts for vlogging. You can do Reels. That's also a considered micro content. Okay, what else do I have? Or what's the other one on Instagram? Carousels. You could do Instagram carousels, right? And then what's cool is that across all of the platforms, you can use some of the same content, right? So it might be a YouTube short on YouTube, but you can use that same short as an Instagram story, right? So you get to cross promote what it is that you're talking about in your content on all of these platforms. It just takes action for you to create the actual content itself. And then you get to use that content across all of the platforms. Okay. So that's a great way to create micro content. Again, if you have time constraints or you struggle with consistency around content as it is, start with shorts. That's okay. Shorts are just as effective. And then what tends to happen is that even as you're recording a short, it actually begins to become long form. So, for example, on YouTube, I believe it's somewhere around 8 minutes or so that's considered long form video. So instead of editing all of 8 minutes down to 60 seconds, you could actually keep the eight. Definitely consider anything that absolutely doesn't need to be in there, specifically very long pauses. But even if you have a bunch of ums and ohs and you're looking at whatever you wrote down, you don't need a script. But let's say you have things written down. I do here too, right? To jog your memory, that's fine. Don't worry about whether you have to look over this way and then you look this way and now you want to go back and edit that. Forget all that. We don't got time, bro. You already don't have time. So we don't want to make that any more challenging for yourself. Your audience really doesn't care. They're waiting for the value as long as you're presenting it. Does that make sense? Like, think about it. One of my, this is my all time favorite artist, Michael Jackson, would pop out of the stage from somewhere, land in the middle of the stage, and literally just stand there like this with thousands, several thousands of people screaming and just waiting for him to move. And he wouldn't move. Sometimes Mike would stand there for at least 2 minutes. Can you imagine? And you go to a concert now, and an artist comes on stage and just stands there like this. Like maybe there's I know that there's some artists that can do that. Beyonce could do that. She could do that. She could do whatever she wants, right? She come in the middle of the stage and just stand there. Not all artists can do that, but there's a handful that can. Michael Jackson is one of them. But it used to amaze me that not only would he just stand there for at least 2 minutes, but that the audience would continue to give their attention to him until he moved, not just with their eyes and their energy, but even with their voice. They would sit there and they would just scream their heads off for 2 minutes. Well, he decided to be intentional about doing this, about not moving and just absorbing that in that moment. Your audience is going to do the same thing. That's his audience. Your audience is going to do the same. They're going to wait for you. Obviously, you're not going to have a 2-minute pause. Again, if you have a 2-minute pause in a video, just take that out. And that doesn't take much time. But as far as like trying to make your content perfect, forget all that. You're going to get better with content over time, but you have to do it first. You can't get better at it without the practice, just like anything else. So you got to, y'all, this is not an option. You need digital presence. You need digital presence for your brand. And you have to market and advertise your offers with your digital presence through content. This is a non-negotiable. We're not having this discussion. So don't come at me with but Shay this, but Shay that. I want you to ask questions. Drop your questions down in the comment box below. What is it that you're struggling with specifically that you need help with so that we can get you over this hump and through the barrier of creating content so that you create content weekly and post? I completely understand, by the way. I had to get to where I'm at too, even hosting these webinars. Are you kidding me? Day one, I didn't walk into webinars. My very first webinar wasn't the first time that I've been on camera speaking. I had to work my way up to this point, and it's still not perfect, right? Here I am with the tiny ass whiteboard that you probably can't even see what the hell I'm writing. It's annoying still. But what I'm delivering to you is important. So I want to get the message out. So now this doesn't matter. I'm writing it. You can hear my voice and hear me when I say you need content. So figure out your micro content and then figure out your pillar content. And finally, you want to do something that's C. C is for community. Community. So you absolutely want to consider doing something that's community driven, right? So once you have a handful of people that continue to either watch your content or even purchase your offers, right? Then you're going to include them and engage them in what you're doing. There's a multitude of ways to do this. You can literally get reviews and ask for them, testimonies, ask for them, feedback, ask for this about your product or your service, whether it's something that you've already created and delivered to them, or maybe it's new, right? So, something that I do, I also have an Etsy shop, right? So, with a lot of the apparel that I sell, I don't just create the apparel myself and then put it up there. Like some things, yes, I do. But other things, I actually reach out to customers who have purchased my products before, especially those who have purchased more than once. Like, if someone comes back and buys a second time, they're no longer just supporting your business. Like it's possible, sure. Like maybe they, if they're just donating to your business and actually don't need the product or want it, that's different. And that's also fewer than the reoccurring customers that comes back and buys, not only because they need it, but because it resonates simply, right? Like there's t-shirts on my site, they don't need my t-shirt, they want it, right? So it resonates. So what I tend to do is when I'm creating new product, I will actually post my product on Instagram. I will reach out through text and say, hey, what do you think about these 3 images? What do you think about the text? What do you think about the size? What do you think about the colors? And I would actually get feedback. Hey, I'm creating this new thing, and I know that you've purchased from me before, and I want to continue to build things that resonate. What do you think about these things? Oh my gosh, your customers love to be included in what you're creating. Include them. So get them engaged. You want to begin to do things that's community driven, community driven. Okay. So that's a really, really important part of your content strategy as well. So again, you can do this by jumping on to your social media platforms. It doesn't matter if it's Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, LinkedIn, wherever and how many ever you can, the better, right? So that you can increase the probability of responses. You can slide into people's DMs, right? Especially your friends, your warm leads. And then you can even do that. You can do it on YouTube too. So there's a bunch of people that's your audience that you may not know. They're cold leads, but they follow you, they watch your content. And this is not the first video they saw. and they want to participate. Sometimes it is the first time they've seen the video and they want to participate, but you won't know until you try this method. So here are 3 key tactics within the content building strategy. Community driven was last. We have micro content and pillar content. Make it happen, Captain. You got to do it. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Here we go. We're already on our 3rd strategy. I love this for myself. I'm getting better and better with time. My intention was 60 minutes of value for you today. And I am right on track. It's amazing. Let me know if you're picking up what I'm putting down. What resonates for you right now? Where are you at? What is it that you absolutely need in your business that you're not doing yet? Or what are the gems that I've dropped so far that's resonating for you and your business? Don't forget, after you comment or before you comment, to make sure that you're subscribed to my channel. It lets me know that you appreciate this content, and you leave in comments lets me know what we need to talk about next time. So, offers, leads, content. Want to take a guess at this while I write it? What's your 3rd strategy? Tiny whiteboard, tiny whiteboard. Maybe I should change the name to this tiny whiteboard. Comment tiny whiteboard down below if I should change my handle to tiny whiteboard. All right. System strategy. That's what that says. All right. Specifically, you need a system building strategy. Okay. So you need a system for generating leads. You need a system for generating content. You need a system for your systems. You even need a system for your offers. Okay. So let's just refer back to another corner of our framework. We'll come back to leads. You need either a sales page, a website, or some other funnel system in which you not only attract leads, but you also get to take them on a journey, right? So with a sales page, if you're selling a particular thing, instead of sending someone to your website where they could get distracted after learning about an initial offer, you can actually just create a sales page around that particular offer. So at the click of a button, it takes them to exactly what you're offering them, and they get to opt in right away. Maybe it's not about the offer. You just need a lead magnet. That means that once someone is interested in whatever you're doing, like they're interested in your content, they're interested in products and services you may have, or they want to connect with you further, you want to obtain their information. So you want to make sure that you have their email and their name at minimum, right? Because you can email them not only about what you initially had a conversation with them about, but you can also continue to email them beyond that conversation and make more offers to that person. Okay. So you actually need a lead magnet system. You need a sales page, a website, if you're ready for that. If you're ready for that. Once again, I said this, it was this last week. I've said this before with y'all. You might not need or be ready for a website. So that's something that most entrepreneurs know that they need. But guess what? Sometimes when you're just starting out, if you just launched your business, if you're about to launch your business, or if you're in the early growth stage and you're still a solopreneur and you're the CEO of all of the departments in your business, you may not have time to maintain your website, and you definitely do not have the affordability to have a lead that you initially had a conversation with about your offer or something in regards to your business or connecting with you, and then go to your website and get distracted or get lost because they can't find the original the initial part of your conversation in which they even went to your website or you gave them your website. You absolutely need a sales page for your particular offers that you have. The website can come later. If you already have a website, great. You're well on your way as a part of your systems. When you do have a website, what's really good, that's also a part of your systems, is that you have a CRM funnel, more than likely. That means that you can actually continue to have a sequence of emails go out to your customers. And think about it. Think about how many times, like whatever you're opt into, if you go into your emails, this organization or company might have emailed you more than once already this week. This is not a solopreneur who's sitting at their laptop and emailing you more than once for this week. They have a system already in place to send you a sequence of emails as well as everyone else on their email list. So this is the same that you need as well. Welcome for whoever's on StreamYard with me. Appreciate you dropping in. Okay. So they have a sequence system of emails already pre-generated and set up. So guess what? So when you make a purchase or when someone makes a purchase of your product, you don't have to now wait for tomorrow to go and email a thank you letter or a thank you email. Once they purchase the product, the next step in the system is to send you a thank you email. And that thank you email might even have an upsell in there. So I just purchased this one thing, and now you're showing me this upsell that either I need now or you're telling me I'm going to need after I implement this first step. You're already sending me the second step in the email. You want a sequence system. You want a follow up email. Hey, I know that you purchased this thing a month ago. How did it go? Right? And you're checking in. Sometimes you might have seen this as well. Like you've purchased a product from Amazon, and then Amazon a week later sends you a follow up email and says, hey, you purchased this product. What would you rate it? And then you click on the star, and it's not even a real star that you could click on in the email. It takes you out of your email system. It takes you back to Amazon where you can leave a rating and a review about the product that you bought. So not only does Amazon get reviews for themselves for their own source and platform, but they're doing it for the seller too. So this is important. You need systems in your organization. As a solopreneur, you can't possibly do all of it on your own, and you don't have to. That is the beauty of AI. Sorry, I have to say it. Y'all have to get used to AI. Okay. I need every solopreneur out there that they are getting comfortable and confident with these tools that are meant to be helpful in your business, efficient. They give you time back so you can focus on what's important. All right. So, sales page, website, or you need some sort of funnel system. Okay. So, a funnel system, one that I've tried before is called ClickFunnels, right? Russell Brunson is a multimillionaire. He created ClickFunnels, and it does some of the same things that we talked about already: email sequences, CRMs, you get landing pages, you get assessment tests, and it's very user friendly. And there's a lot of tutorials and education and information. So that's really why I enjoy ClickFunnels, is because it's not one of those products that you purchase and get lost. Okay. You can absolutely set up this system and it be one and done in your business. Okay. So you're going to need some sort of funnel system. That means all of your leads, wherever they're coming from. So we talked about you receiving leads from your social media platforms after you slide in their DMs, when you go to your live networking events and you obtain some emails and some names, right? When you reach out to your friends and your family members, all of these leads go into a funnel. So all of your leads, hope you can see my tiny whiteboard. Okay. This is your funnel. Your leads go into this funnel. And then you start to narrow down on each one of these people and what they need and want from your business, right? So after you send that thank you email with your upsell in it, maybe one of these 5 customers up here actually takes you up on your offer. So they make a purchase. Now, let's say that that was a membership. They now become a member and they have to pay for the membership. So it starts to narrow down the people who are just watching your content or absorbing your free stuff to the people who take you up on your second offer and your upsell to the people who actually want to be a part of the ongoing membership, your continuity offer. So now you have a membership. They say, you know what? Now I just want to be a part of it. Every time they come out with something new, I want to know about it. I want the membership because I want the emails, I want the offers, I want the discounts, I want to know about the events. So we start to funnel and narrow down each one of your customers' needs so that you can retain them. The last thing that we want as entrepreneurs is that our customers are only making a one-time purchase. We don't want them one and done. We want to help them solve their first problem. And then after they take the action steps to actually implement that, they're going to have another problem. So we want to help them solve the next problem, right? So a lot of times in fitness, I help people get started in fitness. So if they haven't worked out in years, if they never worked out, I can help them start their workouts, right? And then after they start their workouts, guess what the next question is? They have a new problem. They fixed one problem. They got a personal trainer, they have their workout plan, problem solved. Then they have a new problem. New problem is always nutrition. Nutrition is the next step. Now we got to look at your nutrition because it goes hand in hand with your workouts. So now we can talk about nutrition, right? I have a book that you can buy. I have a service, accountability coaching service that you could take a part of. Or even if not, here are some things that you can do for yourself in order to complement the workouts. So after they've combined these two, guess what? They notice that they have another problem right after that. Sometimes it's mental fitness. So I actually get to help and coach people through their mental fitness as well. And I have a whole accountability service for that too. So each time your customer solves one problem with your offer, they have a new one and they're more willing to make a purchase from you again because they were willing to make the first purchase. And especially if they receive the payoff and the transformation that you promised from the first offer, you've built trust. And so they're definitely going to just come back to you, right? It's like going to the doctor. If you went to the doctor, you had a cold, you were sick, and they helped you out, right? And you started to feel better, you got 100% better. But now you have this new issue. You don't go and find a new doctor. You just go back to your regular doctor. If you go to a doctor and they don't help you out, you don't go back, right? You go to a doctor and you keep looking for one that's going to help you. It's the same thing. It's just a service. So it's the same thing. We're all selling that. Okay. So that was number one. We're in system strategies out of our 3 strategies. Okay. And the very first thing that you need is a funnel system. Okay, so make sure you wrote down funnel system, sales page, website, click funnels, or some other lead magnet page like StanStore. I will leave my affiliate link down in the description box on my YouTube page or in my emails. You'll see it there as well. If you receive the email from me, you definitely will have my affiliate link to StanStore where you can set up your own sales page or landing page. So your next system you absolutely need, we talked about leads right here, right? This is our framework, offers, leads, content, right? You need a system for your content so it doesn't drive you bananas because you need content. This is a non-negotiable. You have to create content in a digital age. That's it. You need digital presence. We already decided that you're creating content. Now we want to be able to quickly and efficiently produce this content and get it up on our page. So what you're going to do is you're going to hire an AI assistant. This is B, by the way. B, AI assistant. You're going to hire an AI assistant to help you. Here's a couple. I'm just going to throw out some names. I'm not sponsored by any of them. Okay. But you have Nexus or Opus. Nexus, Nexus, Opus, Opus, Clips. It'll take your long form videos and cut out a short for you. You don't have to figure out your own shorts. You could just let one of the AI assistant do it for you. All you need to do is approve it. And at the click of a button, it'll even post it on your YouTube channel for you. You don't even have to download it and then go back into YouTube and upload it. You get to do all of that for a short right through Nexus and Opus Clips. Okay, so you want to hire an AI assistant to help you with that. Of course, you also have other writing tools. So, a part of your content, we talked about blogging. So, you're going to use things like a Claude, Chat GPT, Gemini, or Perplexity. Any one of these writing tools can assist you with creating blog content or scripts or even the descriptions and the titles that go under your content, right? Or that's a part of your content. So you want to hire one of these free AI tools to assist you with writing for your content. Okay, super important. Then, what else is a part of your content strategy? Maybe you don't want to be on video, right? That's cool. You don't have to be on video. You can use a platform called InVideo. InVideo. InVideo will take your text and turn it into a long form content for you with an entire explanation, speech, education, how to. You get to choose that actually, like what kind of video it is. So you insert your script, you choose what kind of video you're trying to make, and it'll literally generate an entire video for you, long form. And you could just post that completely legal, right? And that takes it takes away so much of the workload for you and the struggle of trying to create content. All you have to do is give it a little bit of a script, not a long one, just a little bit of a synopsis of what you're trying to convey to your audience, and it'll take that and create the script for you. It'll create the video with visuals for you. And video is absolutely amazing. I think very great for educational purposes as well, if that's the kind of content that you are trying to produce. Okay, so you need a system even around creating your content. You also want to come up with some type of project management and flow or calendar to remind you to create content because you need at least one piece a week. It'd be best if you had more than that, but we're solopreneurs, right? We have a lot to do. So I do too. Like I don't post content every day. At some point, I hope that I'm able to. I'm not at that point, and I'm perfectly okay with being transparent and honest about that as a solopreneur. And I hope that you are too. But nonetheless, you have to produce content. So if you're going to do it, hire an AI assistant for free so that you have some assistance as to how to produce the type of content that you want to. There are also audible AIs as well that will completely take an AI voice and you can insert a script and then it'll turn it into a podcast for you. So if your intention is to educate your audience, then you can have an AI avatar do it. So don't worry if you don't want to be on camera or if you're worried about how you sound. These are not things that should hold you back because you critiquing yourself is not as important as the value that your customers and your audience is not getting because you're not doing this thing. Like each time you make content about yourself, right? Like when you make it about yourself, like how you look and how you sound or how many times you say, or whether you have the script together and how many times you mess up in all of these things, you're forgetting about your customer. You're forgetting about the audience. So you want to pivot and come back to just being able to deliver. You need to deliver the value. Okay. So you create your systems around your content. Let's see, systems of anything else. I mean, my final thing for you as we come down on this hour is to think about how you are reinvesting the money that you are incurring from selling your offer back into your business. Because many times as a solopreneur, especially in the beginning, and especially if you're doing this full time, but you're not generating consistent income yet, you're spending your business income. And it's important that the money that you're making from selling an offer goes into a business account. If you absolutely need cash flow from that, then you transfer that over to your personal account, but that money is staying inside of your business account, majority of it, so that you understand how much you have to reinvest back into your business. Because at some point, when you come across one of these AI tools that you really enjoy, you're going to be limited by the free versions of it. And so that means that at some point you need to subscribe or upgrade your package. And so you want to be prepared for the upgrade by reinvesting the money that you're making from your sales back into something that you need, because this is a part of building your framework. This is a part of building the rest of your systems so that you constantly have these tools already. Now, to wrap this up, y'all already know I do content. I've talked about content. I've done courses on content as well. YouTube is one of my favorite platforms to talk about. So if you're interested in getting your YouTube channel up and running and started, I need you to reach out. Okay. So when I follow up with you via email, or when you hit the link down in the description box on my YouTube channel, you're going to find a link there so that you can connect with me so that we can get you up and running, because content is a non-negotiable. You absolutely have to get your content going. Okay. And then you need your lead system. Okay. So another part of your framework is going to be your leads. You need a lead magnet. You need to either go through your social media and start sliding into people's DMs for organic outreach. Cold calls are still a thing, just saying. You could literally pick up the phone and start calling people. If you have warm leads, you could call your friends and family and say, hey, this is the offer that I have. Do you know anybody who's interested? I still do this as well. Do you know anybody who's interested in losing weight? I have a free challenge coming up. I just finished a bingo body challenge in June. Okay. So I reach out to my friends and my family and ask them if they know anybody, because more than likely they do. And they know people who are looking to lose weight right now and would love something for free on top of it. Okay. So you absolutely need a lead magnet with organic outreach. You also eventually want to reinvest the money that you're making into paid advertisement. So CAC, it's the cost to acquire customers. At some point in your business, not only should you pay to acquire a customer, but you're going to want to. And you're going to want to because it is more efficient than you having to do cold calls, or for you having to slide into people's DMs for 50 to 100 times daily just to acquire a handful maybe of customers. You can just pay for customers. So there's a cost. And at that cost, you'll be rewarded with customers, your dream clients, by the way, who are actually interested in your offer. And so each time that you actually make another offer and someone purchases, that gives you more revenue to reinvest back into your CAC, so you could continue to pay for ads to acquire customers. So when you're on YouTube and you're watching your videos, especially on the free tier, then you're seeing ads play. And whether you click on that ad or not, especially if you don't, I want to be clear here that there are several hundreds of people who are, whether you're clicking on it or not. There are people who are clicking on it. And so those businesses are acquiring customers. They're using this system. That's all. And so I want you to consider doing the same thing eventually. So you're not doing this now if you're not generating consistent income, but I need this to be in the forefront of your mind of what happens when you generate revenue. What are you doing with that money? If you do not have to spend your business's money for personal use, you also don't want for it to just sit in your account. You need to reinvest it back into your business in some sort of way of fashion. So you need to have foresight. You need to have a model and a plan of what your business needs so that when you're able to purchase it, you can purchase it. A mentor is another thing. If you are stuck in your business, you need to hire a mentor. You need to hire an accountability coach. These are things that you should be utilizing the revenue that you're generating from your business back into your business so that you can generate more revenue. Myron Golden is great at this. He has customers who are already making at least six figures in their business. But guess what? Guess what their problem is? I'm not making six figures in my business yet. I'm honest about that. And you probably aren't either. You wouldn't be watching this. Or maybe you would. Who knows? But anyways, so six figures in their business. But guess what? Guess what their problem is? They're stuck at making six figures. So six figures is not going to suffice over time. Our business has to scale to some degree. And even if you don't want to operate a large business or corporation, that's not what we're talking about. Even having an exit strategy as a solopreneur is important as an entrepreneur. So when you're done with setting up this system and this business and is operating efficiently on its own, you have the option to sell it, but you can't sell your business when you're stuck. You can't sell your business when you have a cap, a ceiling, or a barrier. There has to be flow. And so the flow of cash coming out of your business, reinvesting back into something that's going to break through that ceiling is important. So Myron Golden helps plenty of entrepreneurs break through their six-figure business income to well over seven figures and going into eight figures. Okay, so again, when one problem is solved, there's another problem. It doesn't matter how much money you end up making or your business ends up making. There's going to be a new problem for you to solve. And that's a good thing. Okay. We needing to hire people is a good problem to have. Needing to opt into subscriptions so that you can be more efficient in other areas of your business is a good problem to have. And when you have the foresight of what you're going to need into your business, you're going to be very clear that once you start to generate a few $1,000s where you can reinvest that back into, okay, now I can finally upgrade this package and go into the enterprise tier, or I could finally upgrade this package and get the business tier, or I could finally hire a coach and a mentor. So that is what I have for you guys for today. Feel free to watch this from the beginning on my YouTube channel, Life Student Academy. Here, let me put it in this chat real quick. I see a couple people in the room. I appreciate y'all. If y'all feel like dropping your names in the chat, go ahead. That is the benefit of being on StreamYard. This platform, once again, if you're looking to host your own webinars, StreamYard is a great space to do it. Make sure you click on the link in the comment box so that you can receive your discount. Boom. Boom. Life Student Academy. It's in the chat on StreamYard. Obviously, if you're streaming this on YouTube, you're already on my channel. Make sure you subscribe so that you don't miss content like this when I drop next weekend. Hit that notification bell. It'll let you know when I'm live. And then I'll see y'all next time. And I'll see you in your inbox. Take care, everybody. Have a great weekend.